Welcome back to Inside Politics. Our guest today is Bradley Jackson. He's the president and CEO of the Tennessee Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Bradley, we talked a little bit about workforce development in the first block, but one of the real issues that you're facing and trying to do some things to help your members is the opioid crisis. I mean, this is not just something that affects young people, affects old people, affects everybody, but it's having a major impact on business. I think you had some numbers that came out when you first put this out there about it costing, in this area, it's just all kinds of problems in terms of what it's lost in terms of effectiveness to the workforce and people that you're losing from the workforce because of addiction.
Yeah, when you look at national statistics, Tennessee is really one of the hardest hit states. We frequently hear from our employers that drug dependency, opioid epidemic has impacted their workforce. So we are working to give them solutions that where they can help their employees, it may be a family member, with this problem because it does impact our business climate.
Is it a matter of treatment? Is it a matter of more enforcement? What do we need to do to address this? Because this has been going on for some time and it doesn't seem to necessarily be getting any better.
Yeah, we think it's a combination of treatment, treating addiction like a disease and having creating a climate where people can open up about it, and also offering them recovery opportunities too. I think a lot of our employers want to be helpful to their employees, and they want to find avenues to be able to do that.
Your indications on some of the data you put out about this area that you're having, and you're going to have an event here coming up on the 11th, I believe, to help your members to find out. But this is a loss of $2 billion out of the state's economy because of opioids?
Yes, $2 billion, and our events are all across the state. The economic impact of this, it's really been tremendous, and it's a workforce issue for business and manufacturing.
Just saw some numbers from the Nashville Fire Department that you had in here that says basically they had 2,260 patients during 2019 that had to have some of the overdose drugs given to them so they could come back. Is that a situation where people are playing the system? They overdose, but they think somebody's going to come get them out of it. So do we have those people have to get? Is that a treatment question, or is it just the system's going to have to be that way? You don't want people to die, but you also don't want people who are going out and putting themselves in danger just because they think somebody will come save them.
Yeah, no, we think it's a treatment opportunity whenever those situations happen. One of the things that we notice too is that this is a broad-based community discussion that involves the court system, a number of state and local agencies that first come into contact with families that have these problems. So it is a business issue for the Tennessee Chamber, and it impacts our business climate. If
your members are not signed up, what do they do if they want to come to this on the 11th?
Sure, it's tnchamber.org/OTK for opioid toolkit, and they'll see our dates and times that they can meet.
Let's talk a little bit about what's going up on the Hill. It's an election year, so you tend to get a lot of these hot button issues that are coming up. One that the governor is pushing, in fact, it's the number one thing on his legislative package, is to pass a bill that would greatly restrict abortion in Tennessee, particularly in the heartbeat area. Heartbeat detected 6 weeks, and could be changed depending on what they think they can get approved in the courts. They would not allow abortions. That's not an issue that your members get into, or is it? Do you feel a pressure from lawmakers to support the governor? Do you get pressure from the governor to be in charge, to be in favor of that?
Sure. We survey businesses to determine our position on a number of these bills. Abortion issues, the Tennessee Chamber has never weighed in on, and I don't suspect we will. There are some individual companies that do believe that it's a powerful issue, and they will weigh in on it.
Does it take up time that the lawmakers ought to be spending dealing with bread and butter issues in Tennessee? Does it distract us?
We have a citizen legislature, and they can file any bill that they want to.
And they file a lot.
And they file a lot on any issue that they want to be considered. We don't see that these issues take up more time than any other issue that ends up not going anywhere. It's just the nature of a legislature that they're going to take up a broad bandwidth of issues.
LGBTQ issues have been big. There's a bill already passed about adoption that has created quite a bit of controversy. There was a wide variety of 35 corporations and 107 businesses that sent an open letter to lawmakers this week saying, please don't pass anymore. They're concerned it's going to start hurting investment in Tennessee and may lead to some boycotts, as it did with the somewhat similar legislation over in North Carolina. Does your organization have that concern? Are you going to join this list in this open letter?
We do have the same concerns, and we worked in the legislature to make sure they knew these types of bills are harmful to Tennessee's business climate. We've seen what happened in North Carolina when they passed. We want Tennessee to be seen as an open, welcoming place where all Tennesseans can thrive, and unfortunately this legislation sends a negative message and can impact our economic climate.
For lawmakers, they've been used to dealing with Chamber of Commerce groups that usually are pretty much in line with the Republican Party, wherever they're going, but there's been changes in your group. You've had organizations and businesses come to Tennessee that perhaps have a little different take on social issues. Does that put some pressure for you and you're having to deal between your members and lawmakers?
Well, our goal is to make sure Tennessee has a great business climate, and we feel like that has always been aligned with the Tennessee General Assembly. Now, that involves a lot of different issues, and certainly now social issues are now part of the mix, as tax policy, economic development policy, our tort climate, and things. So our members want to see a great business climate, and that involves Tennessee kind of making sure that they don't harm on these issues.
You talked about your legislative priorities. Do you find you spend more of your time on the Hill having to be on the defensive of trying to stop legislation that you think would hurt your businesses, your members, or just hurt the business climate in Tennessee?
Yeah. Well, the Tennessee Chamber, we engage in a lot of issues each and every year. There's a lot of things that impact Tennessee's business climate. We feel like we always have a stronger offensive game on policy items that will enhance Tennessee's business climate, as opposed to having spent a lot of time on defense. We do have to work on a lot of negative bills that get filed, and we are thankful that we have a General Assembly that works with us and that we've been successful.
Bradley Jackson's our guest. He's the president and CEO of the Tennessee State Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Back to continue our conversation after this break.